All right, let's jump right in. We're going to unpack this incredibly powerful metaphor from Louis Giglio's book, Don't Give the Enemy a Seat at Your Table. It's really all about this one simple, but honestly life-changing idea for winning that battle that rages inside your own mind.
You know, this one sentence, it's the heart of a whole framework for dealing with those negative thoughts that, let's be honest, so many of us struggle with. But here's the thing, it's not just some nice, fluffy idea. It's a real call to action, and we're about to break down exactly what that action looks like.
I mean, does that sound familiar? If it does, you are so not alone. The book basically describes this as a daily battle, right? Just this constant assault of demands, distractions, worry. It can leave you feeling completely overwhelmed and anxious. And that is the problem we are tackling head-on today.
So, where do we even begin? Well, first things first, we've got to understand the stakes here. The book frames this whole internal struggle not as, just a bad mood, but as a genuine high-stakes conflict, a real battle for your mind. And the best part? It's a conflict we actually have the power to win. And this is why it matters so much. Think about it. What happens in our minds? It literally writes the story of our lives. Our thoughts, they translate directly into our actions, our decisions. So, in essence, the battlefield of the mind, that's where the war for our entire life is either won or lost. Okay, so if it's a battle, what's our strategy? How do we win? Well, the book gives us this incredible framework to help us visualize exactly what's going on. It's called The Table for Two, and I'm telling you, understanding this one simple metaphor, it can change everything. And it all comes from this one verse in Psalm 23. This is the foundation for the whole concept. It paints this incredibly vivid picture of peace, of provision, but it's set in a really surprising location, smack dab in the middle of a battlefield. So, what is this table? Well, it's a metaphor for your mind. It's supposed to be this place of peace, of clarity, of purpose. Just picture it for a second. An intimate meal, a banquet, prepared just for you and one other very, very important guest. And this is where it gets really clear, because this illustrates the fundamental choice that we all face every single day. See, you control the guest list. On one side, you have the Good Shepherd, God, who has this open invitation to sit with you. And on the other side, you have the enemy, which represents all those destructive thoughts. He is not invited. But you better believe he is always trying to pull up a chair. So, how does this uninvited guest try to crash the party, right? He doesn't just barge in. No. According to the book, he's clever. He uses specific tactics, a set of really common lies that are designed to just sneak into our thoughts and steal that seat. His goal is super simple: interruption and infiltration. He just wants to distract you, to pull you away from that peace by whispering lies. He's hoping you'll get discouraged, that you'll turn your attention to him, and then you've basically offered him a seat at your table. And let me tell you, he's got his greatest hits. First, you've got the live comparison. Man, it's so much better over at that other table. Then there's the live despair. You're never going to make it. Then, of course, the live inadequacy. You're just not good enough. And finally, the live isolation. Everyone is against you. Do any of those sound a little too familiar? They work so well because they tap right into our deepest fears. Okay, so just recognizing those lies, that's a huge first step. But then what? How do we actually fight back? Well, now let's get into the game plan. The book lays out a really practical, actionable strategy for taking back control and kicking that uninvited guest out. For good. The whole strategy is wrapped up in this one verse. See, this isn't about just passively letting thoughts drift in and out of your head. Nope, this is about active management. Think of it like being a bouncer at the door of your mind. Every single thought gets stopped at the gate, and you get to decide if it comes in or not. So here's the four-step process. It's pretty straightforward. First, you identify the thought. You have to ask, where is this coming from? Is this from a place of peace, or is it from a place of fear? Second, you literally speak to it. You actively shut down any thought that isn't from God. Third, you have to counter the lie. You do that by claiming the truth from Scripture, replacing that lie with something solid, something real. And finally, number 4, you walk in that truth. You don't just think it, you live it. But hang on, this whole metaphor brings up a pretty huge question, right? If God is all-powerful, why on earth is the table in a battlefield in the first place? And this brings us to the final and maybe the most powerful part of this whole idea. It's the answer to the biggest why of all. I mean, really think about it. Why wouldn't God just get rid of the enemies? Just poof, gone.
Why set this intimate table for two right in the middle of all that chaos with all your enemies just watching?
Well, the book gives three absolutely incredible reasons. Number one, so that when you're in the middle of your struggle, you can know, deep down, that his presence is enough. Number two, so that everyone around you, your so-called enemies, can look over and see that he is enough for you. And number three, so that your cup, full of peace and purpose, can literally overflow and become a source of life for other people.
Just let that sink in for a second. When your focus is locked on the king sitting at your table and not on the chaos swirling around you, your entire presence changes. People stop looking at you and your problems, and they start getting curious about who you are looking at. Your focus itself becomes this incredibly powerful witness.
And all of this leads to a total game-changing shift in your mindset. Look, the battle is real. Absolutely. But here's the thing. Because of what Christ has already done, you're not fighting for a victory you're just hoping to win someday. No, you are fighting from a place of victory that has already been won for you.
And so that leaves us with this one final powerful question. And really, it all starts right here. Take a second and just look at your own thoughts. Listen to the conversations happening inside your own mind. Who have you let sit at your table? Who have you been dining with? Because winning the battle for your mind, it begins the very moment you decide who gets a seat.